Hey, welcome back. It's the end of week 6 and the beginning of week 7 right now. The video you're about to see was recorded at the beginning of week 6. I know you guys probably hate this time traveling bull. Yeah, I'll censor myself there. But it is because of my schedule. Just can't get them out quick enough. Sorry. We tried, and I ended up staying up too late, and well, that's just not in the plan. So, you're going to get the time travel. Sorry. So, we're at the end of week 6 right now. The video you're about to see happened before. And it's not the best of news, but don't worry. I have good news, everyone. It's let's say it's good news, and you'll be seeing the next video. Stay tuned. News at 11. Welcome back. It's the end of week 5, beginning of week 6 with Your Weight, Your Life with Roberta Burkhart. I've got it right. Anyway, today we're not really going to concentrate on what's in the book. We're just more doing an update on the last week. Have 1 pound of progress. It's still progress, damn it. And I did exercise every day, 5 days during the week, for a half hour at lunchtime, which did include stopping, and we'll talk about that. And it's actually an interesting thing. It's a thing a lot of people do. So we'll be talking about that too. So let's get started.
Okay. So I think, we've talked a little bit, so I'll give you the highlights here. So I think at this point, the reason why he's only lost 1 pound is kind of my fault, because I did tell him to eat a lot of calories. So of course, that's what he's been doing, which is fine, because I wanted him to get used to the foods, make sure he can make the transition, start grocery shopping, for everything together, and you're doing that now. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to focus on taking his calories down, little by little, and I don't want him to be hungry, so we're going to kind of experiment with what works for him, but we think that's probably the cause of why he only lost 1 pound, and the fact that he had 2 mochas.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
Yeah, and I want to talk to this just a second. So mochas, this is the single thing that everyone makes a mistake on.
In my defense, on my regular route that I walk every day at lunch, they happened to open a coffee shop. I didn't open it. I didn't make the rules.
True.
But they opened it. I wanted to be neighborly. I have a bunch of great excuses as why I wanted to walk in there. But when I walked out with a mocha 2 times on I think Wednesday and Friday, that's where. Yes, Anne-Marie, you were right. Okay, don't look so smug.
That's a coworker.
She told me.
She told you?
Yeah,
okay, so mochas have he gets a large one. So we're talking at least 500 calories, if not 7 or 8, just in the mocha. It's whole milk. It's got the chocolate. It's just not. It's a meal, which is crazy. So he knows now. He didn't know. Obviously, a lot of people make this mistake. They say, "Oh, I'm on a diet, but I'm going to get a Frappuccino." Yeah, no. You can't do that. So what I did tell him is if he really does want something to drink, get a coffee, add some syrups to it. He has the low sugar, sugar-free
Torino, sugar-free syrup.
Sugar-free syrups. So if he does have a craving for something hot with flavor, do it that way. And definitely stay away from the mochas. So that was 2 days he actually had a mocha. So that may have blown his calories really high. And then we kind of discovered that not only calories, but he's eating a lot of bread that he probably doesn't need. So we're going to cut down breakfast probably by a third or so. Definitely cut down lunch.
Yeah, that, and I'm going to start using. I didn't even think of it before because I thought of using these little discs you get from Costco. They're awesome little whole wheat discs. They split in 2. One side's super thin, the other side's kind of thin. But you can make a sandwich out of those. I've been using it for eggs only. When I make the eggs, that's what I put them on. So they're good. They're moist. They're nice. But for sandwiches, I've been getting the big piece of bread. They're about that thick. They're whole wheat. But they have a lot of seeds in them. But it is still a lot of calories, a lot of carbs, and I've been eating 2 sandwiches in the morning.
Yeah.
I've been eating,
so. And again, that my bad on that, because I did tell him to go ahead and consume as many calories as he needed, which I still stand by, because I think you couldn't have done it. If I had done the calories right now from the start and told you could only have X, yeah, you wouldn't do it. Yeah,
I probably wouldn't, honestly. One of the big reasons I liked her plan and why I said, definitely want to go with this, because the first thing she told me, and you remember this from the videos, you're not eating enough. I'm like, what? No, really? I said, yeah, you're not eating enough. Eat more. I'm like, eat more. All right, that's my kind of plan. All right, but I ate more.
and I got used to a lot of the breads, a lot of the other foods. Still, honestly, haven't tried the whole wheat spaghetti again yet. We've been scared. We've been scared.
That's okay.
But, we're going to. Even that's still carbs at dinner.
Yes, it is. He asked me a really good question, which was, what kind of carbs are okay at night? And my answer was, well, really, as few as possible, because the rice, it may be brown rice, but it is still carbohydrates. Now, they're good carbs, but if you have like a cup, that could be like 60 or 70 grams of carbs. And even if they're good carbs, it is still carbs. So I would say if you're doing an evening thing, if you're having spaghetti, maybe have a little bit of spaghetti and either a big piece of fish or chicken or whatever you want with it, so that you're having a small amount of carbs but a big amount of protein. And that's really what you want to do for dinner. And he kind of thought, you connected it with bread and crackers and everything else, but you don't think about the pasta and the rice.
And the beans.
Although
beans
offset with the fiber, so those are fine. Yeah. But, so I think he now has kind of a grasp on what kind of carbs you should have at night, if any. And you've been doing that okay. Nighttime you haven't really had a lot of carbs.
Been keeping it small, but like the split pea soup, that had a lot of beans in it, that had some barley in it, those are all carbs. I had split pea, but I only had a small bowl.
Because split pea soup has a ton of fiber.
Oh.
So that's offset. You're okay. Yeah. See, that's what you learn. So the beans are going to have a lot of carbs. But things like lentil soup and pea soup are extremely good for you because they've got protein and fiber along with those carbs. So you can have an entire meal, of pea soup. You need to add something. I would add a chicken sausage to it maybe, or have a side of something, a piece of fish, whatever you want to do.
Do you hear that? Add chicken sausage. The soup? Yeah. Yes.
Adele's chicken sausage.
Yeah, Adele's chicken sausage.
Yeah, I cut it up. Again, so for him, a big bowl of soup, pea soup with some sort of protein in there is a meal.
It wasn't even that big. I mean, and honestly, I used to tell Jackie before we started this whole plan, my girlfriend Jackie, I used to tell her, a bowl of soup is not dinner. I said, that's not dinner. But
it was homemade pea soup, right?
It's homemade. Well, it's from a dry mix.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's okay. I would encourage you guys to try. I have the easiest pea soup recipe on the planet.
Awesome.
So I want those pre-made ones tend to have a lot of salt. Mm-hmm. So when we're done, we'll give you the recipe for that, and then you can make it at home, and that way you can just add salt to taste.
Cool.
And that's probably a lot healthier. And then you can have a whole bowl because it's homemade.
We forgot to mention this week's sponsor, Dr. Scholl's. Unofficial sponsor, Dr. Scholl's. They've got these orthotic inserts that have been helping my feet a lot for walking. Now, they feel really strange when I'm sitting down and I start walking, get up, and you got to get used to the pressure in the middle of your foot. But while I'm walking, doing exercise, it's a lot more comfortable. So thank you, Dr. Scholl's.
Yeah. I sent him to CVS because I knew the way he was saying my feet hurt, I said, I don't think it's your weight. I think it's the shoes and what's in the shoes. And sure enough, as soon as he put those orthotics in, big improvement.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's good. Other than that, I think as soon as we cut down on the calories, and now you've kind of identified the definition of a carb versus, a simple carb, complex carb, what you want to have for dinner, what you want to have for lunch, because his lunch also was enormous. Again, I told him that.
Breakfast also.
And breakfast also. And now he's like, okay, it really is it almost is, if I'd asked you 6 weeks ago, is that too much food, you would have been like, no, it's good.
Yeah.
But now you're almost to the point, it's too much food.
It's more than I need, I can tell you that, because I eat breakfast, and it's a huge breakfast, which of course I wasn't eating breakfast before at all. So I'm eating these 2 sandwiches for breakfast. I get to work, and by the time 10:30 rolls around, time for snack time, the alarm goes off on my phone, but I'm like, I guess I should eat. I'm not hungry, but I'm supposed to eat, so I'm going to eat more. So what she was saying earlier was that breakfast should be big enough to where by the time you get to 10:30, it should be like, I could use a snack right now. Well, we'll do that. It's not like I'm hungry for a snack. It's more like, it's a good time for a snack, and then you eat the snack, and then you're good to lunch. Yeah. So I'm cutting down. I'm going to go 1 sandwich in the morning. Or what we talked about, egg beaters, 2 servings of egg beaters with 1 egg.
He was doing 2 and 2.
I was doing 2 and 2. And that on the super flats, they call them the whole wheat flats.
I think they're called thins.
Thins.
I think. They're great. They're everywhere now. Every brand has them.
And I noticed I want to put mayonnaise on the big thick bread because it's so dry in your mouth. But these thins,
you don't want to do it on thins.
You don't need it. I mean, it'd be like a...
That is exact tip that I am going to put in my book because that is a super good point. No, she's right, because when you take a piece of whole wheat bread, 2 big pieces, it is dry, and you feel like you need to add something to it. The thins are so thin that the dryness isn't there, and you don't need it.
Yeah.
So that is a really, really, really good point.
Good tip.
Good tip. All by himself. But yeah, he's going to make some changes, and I think those will...
Also, increasing the exercise.
Yes.
So it was a half hour at lunchtime for work. I'm going to be increasing it to a half hour at lunchtime at work, and then after work hitting the gym for a half hour, just doing the walking on the treadmill. And then that's going to go for a week. I'm going to see how that goes. I'm really hoping for a lot more weight loss over the next week. I was really disappointed this morning when I hopped on the scale. 1 pound of weight loss, and I'm all, well, screw it, and it's not going to bug me. I didn't gain weight, so I just headed over here and started recording this video.
Yeah, he was a little bummed out, but honestly, I think that's really, truly just because of the caloric intake that I had you on. And now you're to the point where you're motivated, you like the foods, you're ready to rock and roll. So this is where we cut down the calories and start doing, the work, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to have to think about things even harder for a little while, because not only are you thinking of cooking things, you're thinking of what exactly am I eating, how much food is this? Whereas before, it was a bit of a free-for-all.
Yeah.
So now you're going to have to think a lot more, but that's okay, because you're ready.
Yeah, and if she would have told me to do that in the beginning of 6 weeks, I'd be like, that's like every other plan I've ever been on. I'm not interested, I'm too lazy to count calories or anything like that. Now that I've been doing it for 5 weeks, this is the beginning of week 6, it makes more sense. I've been eating a lot of food. I got used to a lot of food. I don't need that much food because I'm not hungry. So we're going to cut it down. We're going to still make sure I'm not hungry. That's a big thing.
And that's going to be some experimentation.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the thing with everybody. This is the true definition of everybody's different. So, what works, if I had a woman who was, 50 pounds overweight, would I have given her carte blanche to pretty much eat what she wants? No. It's how extreme the person is in their current habits. It depends on their lifestyle. It depends on a lot of different things. So for Zach, this was the best way to start. And it's different for every single person, which is why I love this program, because you can tweak it any way you want. Like today was supposed to be a trip to the grocery store, but we did this instead, and we're going to do the grocery store next week. And you'll see video on that. So you can tweak it any way you want. Whatever works for the client is the biggest thing. Because what works for one person, the other person can say, oh God, I don't want to do that right now. It's like, okay. So again, personalize. And I think that's what you really like about it too. You're not in a fishbowl with everybody else.
Right.
You're doing it, yeah. So far so good. I'm not going to worry about the 1 pound. Let's not worry about it. Let's cut down the calories. Let's exercise a little, more. And don't worry, you'll get there. Slow and steady wins the race. We're good.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.
See you.